Good morning, America. This is Dr. Turi, and today's newsletter is all about death and drama. We are the 27th today. Yeah, we are the 27th, and the current SOS to the World deadly window is set for tomorrow, the 28th. But obviously, if you look at the news, it's already operational, and this is why I choose in one of these very, very nasty news, one specifically that should make you sick, the way he makes me feel sick. There is a lot of those news that should make you sick, but this one is particularly tough for me. Dad punches and kills 5-year-old son for eating Father's Day cake. The Reptilius at Work. That's the title of this article that you must read. Because, again, you may be visual or audible. I don't know if you perceive information by listening or by reading. So by doing both, I'm sure to be able to reach more of yourself and reach you and build up that cosmic consciousness, so you can understand the stars. As always, this is Nostradamus 16th century divine astrology used. So there is quatrain, there is obvious keywords that are related to all those nasty news. So let's start with this one here. Okay, one that I'm referring at. So, okay, Mercury is retrograde. Something is going funny with my mouse, but it's okay, I got it back. So I was on 2 radio lately, okay. One was a Supernatural Substation, the other one was with my good friend Dr. J. And I gave the date of the 20th and the 28th, which is tomorrow. Because there is so much unfolding news and I have to keep up with those news, I'm forced to elongate those Cosmic Code newsletter. So you will always find the latest SOS to the World daily window at the top, and you will see it's different. But if you want to double check previous prediction, for example, the one that was issued for the 20th, which was a shocking, mind-boggling, unusual news, you can still scroll back and read all those information. So a lot of reading. Sad enough, many of you do not read, and that's what opened the doors to assume, which is the last thing you should do, because assuming does not help you to assimilate my work or realize the reality of Draco working his magic through my UFO cosmic legacy, predictive legacy. So let's start by making you aware that the Reptilians have one of their bases on Pluto. Okay, Pluto is called in Greek mythology the Lord of Hell, the Lord of the underworld. That's where all the evil, the demons, the fallen angels resides. And remember, the Draconis are the opposite of the Reptilians. They are seeking their power from the light force, number one, or the sun, while the Reptilians use the dark force. The Reptilians cannot survive without your fear, negativity, insecurity, chaos. They created all religion. They hijacked the body, the mind, and the soul of human being and turning them into robots and making them committing horrible crimes. This is exactly what's going on. And this is what you're going to be taught once I go back, once I heal my hip, my back, and go back into the speaking UFO engagement that I have. You're going to learn a lot of new things about UFOs, a lot of things that you have heard before. Cannot be denied, because there is always good information in any of these UFOs speaker or investigators out there. But the sad reality is 99.9% of them never seen a UFO. A little to mention, of course, that they are dwelling with an extraterrestrial named Draco that I'm channeling. So the keywords used for this deadly window, which is the best window as far as the Reptilians are concerned, that's where you could see really death and drama, playing everywhere. Okay, so the keyword is hidden secret, sex, money come to light. So a lot of things are going to come to light. Things that are hidden, secrets that you don't know, you're going to hear it during this window. It just started. Okay, Raw power, challenge, police, deadly villain. So I'm talking about, you know, all sorts of manifestation out there, a lot of people being unhappy and gathering together. And of course, the police beating them. Now, ugly faces of death, drama, horror, surface. Again, this father killing his son. Nature, man, religion, bloody, folly, reign. As always, understand that the typical, normal, healthy father is to protect his children, do anything that he can to protect, love, and also promote his children, not to kill them. It's sad. It's sad that the reptilians were able to get this guy and turn his aggressivity, his poisoned mind into his own kid and kill him. Probably was doing a lot of drugs, or legal or illegal drugs, doesn't matter. But that's what the reptilians use, so be cautious. It's real. It is very, very real. Keep watching the news the way I do. I'm training you how to see the news and go bypass what you read, the reasons. It's okay to talk about somebody killing somebody, but it's the reason behind that you should be concerned with. And this is what we're trying to do in this series of YouTube videos. All right, now the keywords are Russia, famous deaths, dramatic death news, police brutality, FBI, CIA, Secret Service, secret to light, the mob, scandals, terrorism, cyber attacks, abduction, finance, super wealth, sex, porn, prostitution, life and death, serial killers, undiluted truths, nature, man's made up, wake up call. That or what is this window about? And again, that is where the reptilians are going to really have fun, is this dance of madness and destruction. All right. Now, I have posted in the newsletter 4 different radio shows, starting with, of course, Dr. J, my good friend, okay, where I gave more dates for July. So go out there, even though that I will update those newsletters every day and post more news in the future. It's a good idea for you to click and listen to those radio shows and make notes of the dates, because I talk about extraterrestrials and their purpose, the good and the bad ones, okay? I also added the UPRN talk radio show where I explain more about the reptilians and the Draconic agenda. More show with Dr. J, where I actually give more data of earthquakes, which is undeniable in the past or the future. Okay, this is why I always write, you know, in my newsletters, time has and will always be my utmost faithful witness, and I'm giving you the proof of this. I also add another one, which is called Happening Now, Prediction Made and Come True. Again, Dr. J, great supporter of my work. God thanks him, because it is because of people like him, Dr. J, George Norrie, and many, many of you have had me in the past or will have me in the future again in your show, that I'm able to reach you and give you explanation to the unexplainable. So if you know somebody who is on the radio, or it could be a good, interesting guest, or, you know, a TV show, whatever it is, you know, just send them a copy of this newsletter or lead them to my website, www.dr.turi.com. It's a big labyrinth. It's a very old website. I'm not going to change it because I'm an old guy. I'm nearly 70 years old. And in the old part, you make good soup, put it this way. All right. Now, as always, Draco didn't let me down. I always tell you, anytime I give a very specific window, you're going to have earthquakes at or above 6.0, okay? And the 26th, that was yesterday, we had a 6.2 in Cherokee, Panama, and then we had a 6.4 in Kamchatka in Russia. Again, if you go back into the previous newsletters, you will see an endless chain of earthquakes, and I can see all these geologists, gemologists, geologists, those educated idiots are there scratching their big educated head and wondering how I do it. Yeah, maybe they should investigate the cosmic codes. All right, so we spoke about this crazy infected dad Um, he was hijacked by the reptilius, you know, and they took Father's Day to prove to you again the power they have of a normal human being and turn him into a killer, because his emotions, his destructiveness, his mental, physical, and spiritual poisoning, all induced by the reptilius. What else do we have that's dramatic? Woman killed after performing dangerous webcam sex act. I always told you the reptilians use human scenes, gluttony, sex, ego, greed. Jesus. The problem is that she was already infected, sad enough. She was born a handicap. So the only thing she could do to make money is to do sex act videos, and that what took her life, because as mentioned many times, the reptilians will use technology in so many ways to kill. Either it's self-induced, again, you know, you go and take a selfie of yourself by the Grand Canyon and you step over and you die. It happens all the time. That's what the reptilians do. So be aware, especially during one of your negative cosmic biorhythm. Adding this to a SOS to the world deadly window, now you're playing Russian roulette and you don't have cosmic consciousness. Many of you are not even bothered to investigate their own personal SOS to the world window, SOS to the world negative window. At the personal level, it's a must. That tells you when you should be ready for the worst of the worst, or the best of the best. And, you know, like the red light or the green light in the street, you respect the laws of man. You must respect the law created by God's cosmic design. And understand Jesus' cosmic ministry, which is all about the 12 signs of the zodiac, the 12 apostle essences, the 12 months of the year, the 12 hours of the day, the 12 sins, the 12 jury, the 12 tribe of Israel, and so forth. You heard me many, many times saying the same word, because repetition is a must in my work. What else do we have? Bomb-making material found in boxes for homeless sent to church in North Carolina. Wow. Again, what type of sick mind would try to build a bomb and send it to homeless people? Don't you think these people are already suffering hell? All of them are infected to the extreme through their use and abuse of legal or illegal drugs. This is crazy. Believe me, you're not going to go to hell. This is hell. And you need to understand the evil, the demon, or what Christianity classified as the devil, what it is. It is the reptilians. And it is both physical and spiritual. Now, the Galactic Federation or Grand Cosmic Order is very clear. No ETs are supposed to interfere with the human experiences. So the Draconis, the good one, the gardeners of this world, create this solar system. They respect the law, and they can only and don't have to interfere or interact with humans physically. It's all psychical. They create technology that heal, that help, that support humanity. While you have the reptilians, these are not law-obedience, okay? They're crooks, they're criminals of the universe, and those do not respect the grand cosmic order. The administration over there, they don't respect it. Okay? Pretty much like Trump in some ways. But what I'm trying to tell you here, it doesn't matter if you support or do not support Trump. You know, anything that he says, anything that is mentioned that comes out of your mouth that is negative, okay, or if you react positively to saying dead body in a Rio Grande and don't do nothing about it, that means you're infected. Simple as that. Okay? No having compassion, being cold is being infected. So it is just despicable what the reptilians can do to bring more misery to those who certainly do not need it. Now, New York police looking for men who allegedly forced goats to drink beer. Drunk goat. Imagine what they would do. Infected human beings that are already inebriated themselves. They're drunk. They're already under the influence of the reptilians. Okay, they're under the spirit of darkness. Okay, and now they're trying to make a goat drunk to see what he does. This is sad. This is totally insane. But that's the news. Pregnant woman shot in the stomach is indicted in an unborn child death. Obviously, she was infected to find herself in a situation where she got shot. Maybe she stopped the problem. Most of the time, I don't read those news because it depresses me. So I just use logic and probably right. So what I can tell you for sure that she did not kill anybody. Okay, because the child was unborn. And instead of having all these people killing each other, if I was allowed to talk at the national level, national stage, and explain to those idiots that you cannot be born unless you die, okay? And it's when the doctor takes the baby out of the warm uterine safe mother life and he cuts the cord that this body died and is born at that very moment. A smack on the bottom, the cold, the noise in the room, okay? The connection is made with the superconscious, with the UCI, the unique celestial identity, or your genetic spiritual code. Okay, you have physical genes, 150% related to your family. Physically, you may even look like your mom and your dad. And then you have the different code. You have the UCI, which is the spiritual code, okay? Your spiritual genes. And those are very, very different. You have nothing to do like your mom, your dad, your brother, or your sisters. In fact, your family members are your biggest strangers because they're not going to create, think, behave, or share the same fate as you. So she hasn't killed nothing. But because the educated idiots out there, the religious fanatic, the scientific community, we cannot make distinction between the spirit and the physical manifesto, are going to blame that woman. Instead of sending her to jail, she should go to rehab, okay? She should understand what's going on, not to start a war, and especially during my SOS to the world Plutonic window, and let the reptilians kill her unborn child. So her life is gone. She's going to end up in jail. She's going to be used as a guinea pig, you know, like all this money you give to help all these children to battle cancer. Okay, it's all a business. Sometimes you make discoveries, sometimes those baby dies. But the worst of the worst I have seen so far, following the dad killing his own kid, is the Rio Grande drowning, where you have a mother watching her husband and her daughter died in front of her. I mean, you know, when I wrote a month ago, exactly 30 days today or tomorrow, yeah, when I wrote and give these dates on both of those radio shows, maybe 3 radio shows, and put those dates last month in the Cosmic Code website for my VIPs. Do you think I knew that was going to happen? Yes, I did. That's why I wrote it down. That's why I give you the exact date and preparing you for ugly face of death and drama will rule the world on those days. There's more dates in future radio show, okay? Just pay attention, my friend. Pay attention, because the reptilians are having fun doing as much damage as possible to innocent people that are trying to come to this country to live a beautiful, productive life. Pretty much like I did when I first arrived here in 1984. With $50 in my pocket. I didn't know nobody, absolutely nobody. I was homeless. Little did I know that many years later I would teach who is who's in America. I would have a big 5-bedroom home, drive a Mercedes, have had Corvette and Hammer and boats and everything that someone who works hard deserves only in America. Is look around you. If you feel like Trump, it's because you have the same cosmic wind that he hears. His tail of the dragon, which is very negative, is in the sign of Sagittarius, that rules foreigners, foreign land, and religion, which means anytime he touches those topics, he's creating chaos, not only for himself, but for the entire world, because he's the father of the United States. He's the biggest man on the planet and leading the most powerful country. So the entire world has now to suffer his stars. And it's happening. And I told you, so in previous, it's going to get worse, much worse before it gets better. Believe me. So even though he doesn't drink and he doesn't smoke and he appears to be a perfect, fantastic man, he's infected more than anybody else. And he's infected with greed and an endless need of power. More money, more power. That is what is infecting our president and anyone, absolutely anyone around you, that comes out with something negative out of his mouth is infected. And the more negative the person is, the more infected the person is. And usually those people are pothead, drug addicts, or, you know, have a very, very unevolved UCI, unique celestial identity. And those people will have to come back on this dense physical world and may have to experience the same fate as this father and his child. What else do we have? That's dramatic. Alleged serial killer, illegal immigrant in Texas, may be linked to 6 more deaths. Again, you know, this guy might be born with a very negative Saturn, which is the great malefic in the sign of Sagittarius. So right there is going to hate anything that is not white. That is what predispose and support white suprematism. So what I'm trying to tell you here is fear of foreigners, is fear of being invaded, is reluctance to open up to foreigners, is what leads him to get poisoned to kill them. Serial killer. My keywords mentioned serial killers. And there you go. What else do we have? Teenager catches toddler falling from 2nd-story window. What the hell is the teenager catching a toddler? What, did he fall out a window? Did he thrown out a window? I don't know. I didn't read it. I'm not going to read it. All I can tell you is that that could have been very dramatic, but the Draconis was there. The Draconis were there, and they stopped. They stopped this innocent kid dying. So probably had a very interesting fate ahead of him. Ford asked dealer to end free shotgun promotion after fatal shooting. Again, it's all about money, but they realized that their image gets pretty messed up in this type of situation. So it will never end. It will never end. And then, you know, some people are wondering, when are the extraterrestrials going to come down and help us? Oh, no way, Jose. The reptilians may come before the Draconis. It's only when this world vibrates at a higher level, at a much powerful, positive, progressive energy, that we will create the funneling, the power of the magnetic energy that is needed for those high entity, high spiritual advanced extraterrestrial like the Draconis to manifest their reality in this dense physical world. Do not expect a good extraterrestrial to come down tomorrow. No, it's very negative around you. And start with you and learning. Okay, suspect in being called flamingo death is killed. Well, I mean, there's 2, my keywords mentioned famous death, and we have the flamingo. It was a famous flamingo, is dead, and now you have the killer of the victim, the killer of the flamingo being dead. So again, you know, someone out there decided to do some justice, I believe. But, you know, keywords mentioned famous death, 2 hits in one. Another one, Joan Dog Chapman revealed Beth Fineland's words. Again, you know what? Last month when I gave that window, I didn't know that the dog's wife, or Mrs. Chapman, was going to die. But I knew it. I knew and I didn't. My job is like the forecast. It's like forecasting a hurricane or an earthquake, which I do all the time, properly, accurately, and regularly, if you pay attention. So here she is, now in paradise. The reasons are obviously endless. Could be that she had a good time and then maybe smoked too much pot. With respect, rest in peace, Joanne. But the fact of the matter is that I can only tell you what Jericho is telling me to tell the world. When you're rich and when you're famous more than anybody else, you party too much. You exaggerate of the good things or the bad things of life a little bit too much, and you shorten your life. So there you go. Apparently, she had cancer of the throat. Okay, and that's what I recall. Obviously, there is a subconscious wish here somewhere, somehow, for her not to talk, not to communicate, maybe because she was afraid of the job she was doing at such a level, making her more vulnerable to crazy people looking for her. So maybe she wanted at the subconscious level stopping doing those shows. Next thing you know, it became a wish, and she goes, wish being granted. She cannot talk. She cannot do anything. She's out of the show. She's dead. God bless us all. This is what Draco telling me to channel for you. Boy 5 who wanted to be army man dies from cancer. Again, yeah, famous death. Everybody was talking about these kids. He wanted to be in the army. No much chances. Famous death. Again, Draco tells me you got to trace back to these genes, to its parents, and what they did to allow the reptilians to go into such a young kid's genes and stipulate cancer. As far as I'm concerned, I had cancer because for 10 years, I worked at a breakfast shop in England, and every single day I had breakfast, and that involved, of course, bacon and sausages, and to the point where 10 years later, I plugged my entire intestine. Next thing you know, I got cancer because I was very depressed from a very serious divorce. So very emotional. I'm not telling you all that I did, but it was very wrong. And it became an open door to the reptilians who induced cancer. And I was able to beat it. So now I can teach you what to do, what not to do to avoid cancer. Simple as that. Okay, what else do we have here? Oregon police pull out 57 electric scooter bikes out of Portland River. Jesus, can you believe this? Either these people steal those bikes to go from A to Z, and then they don't want to pay the price of being outlaws. Oh, well, let's get rid of the bike in the river. So now there is gas, there is oil, there is all sorts of nasty stuff that goes right there into the ocean. So you're not just dropping the evidence for something that you deserve to be, snapped or go to jail, okay, or pay a penalty. No, you go and kill more. And that is the reptilians. The reptilians will drive people to do stupid things like that instead of being responsible for Mother Earth. American woman was killed in a Bahama shark attack while snorkeling. Again, death news. I love snorkeling, and I love doing all sorts of things. But I also know if the moon is waxing, when I know if we are under SOS to the world, universal deadly window, or if I am in one of my own, a 2019 SOS negative window. I know all that. So, I ain't going to take a cruise during those negative days because, the ship might just literally sink or you may end up constipated or poisoned in the process. Okay, so just be aware. You see the red light in the street, you've been taught by the laws of man to stop. Well, because you don't see the other side of my hand, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist, correct? Okay, so if you don't respect the laws of the divine or God cosmic design, you're going to pay the ultimate penalty. You're going to be part of these statistics, and I might read about you someday. Just be aware, be warned, it's real. 4 New York PD officers died by suicide this month. Again, police news. Mentioned the word police on that window. As mentioned yesterday or the day before when I did the other video, I tried to reach the police since 1991. And I do have good friends in New York, police captain retired, his sons are cops. They're working in emergency services. They understand my work, they follow my work, and I'm so grateful. And I wish so many more cops would do the same. Because you know what? More than anybody, with such a job, you should know what is your personal cosmic biorhythm. You should know your personal SOS to the world deadly window. Because if you go out there and then all the winds are against you and the reptilians are watching you, you're not coming back home. You're not coming back home. You're going to be part of the endless chain of cops who are being killed on the job, killed by the criminal elements, or commit suicide. So if you are a cop, if you have a group, let me come for free. I take it for free because I'm so concerned for civilian servants. So concerned. But you know what? If you're religious or if you're atheist, you can't be helped. I cannot help you. So be it. All right, what else do we have here? Rep Susan Wild reveal partner's recent death via suicide. Again, same old story. When you have a public life, Sometimes it's very unhealthy. All those party, all the supremely busy time is putting a toll on your body, your mind, and your soul, and that's where you become susceptible. You can't sleep, you need a pill. You need to sleep, you take another pill, and there you go. The reptilians are watching you. Next thing you know, you lose it. Buying, and I'm taking myself as an example. I'm recuperating from a surgery. The first night that I had to ingest those medication, I had panic attack like you wouldn't believe. I said, what the hell's going on with me? I was just like trembling, hot and cold, fever, and I was my system, which has always refusing naturally, instinctively, those nefarious products, was rejecting it. And it affected my head. So I took my walker and I went outside, and I would stay outside for a long time, breathing and talking to myself, to try to get my head together. So I still have to take those blood thickening and thinner and then all this medication. I still have to take it, but I eat much more and I drink a lot. So it goes through my system real fast. It doesn't affect me mentally as it did at the beginning, as my system is getting used to this and my will gets stronger to get more control of my psyche. So it's very, very important that if you take a regimen of drugs and you see things not going your way, or you start to hallucinating or getting panic attack like I did, you have to stop. Or drink a hell of a lot of water, or eat much more than what you should do. Let it go through your system fast and apply your will, because that's all you have. Okay, driver gets stuck after following Google Map. Talk about a wake-up call. And you know what? I used to be a OTR driver, and I find myself in some very, very weird situation in New York, delivering some cars or delivering some cargo. My gosh, it's so easy to make a mistake and to get killed or being killed. So that's one thing I always knew, not to follow the GPS, because there is a lot of low bridge out there. Many times I had to stop the truck and go out there, double check. And then I realized that there is a GPS that is designed for professional drivers, and I just got that right away. I didn't know when I first started. So I was lucky to have enough common sense to stop and look instead of taking chances. But that's a wake-up call, not only for these guys, but for all the people who are on the roads doing this job. All right, so what else do we have? Country star clap back at anti-LGBTQ commander. Well, what do you expect? The country star is probably smart, intuitive. Okay, does very much. He knows LGBTQ, gays and lesbian, much like Down syndromes or autistic children or any other disease, are because of the gene being manipulated by the reptilians before, during, and after gestation. So it tells you how vulnerable we all are. And it doesn't mean LGBTQ, gays and lesbian people are stupid. They are human beings. They have a red blood like yours running through their veins. They're emotional people. Some of them are extraordinarily intelligent and very, very creative and artists like you won't believe. Okay, and that's why you should not judge these people because of your religious background or because you do not understand. If you understand what really is going on, it will allow you to become less judgmental, more forgiving, more loving, and more accepting. That's all there is. They're human being. It's just their physiology that is different, not the spirit. All right, what do we have here? Kevin Durant reportedly sells house for $12.1 million. Well, the keywords mention super wealth. So, my house sold for $12.1 million. Well, I start my own radio show or my own TV show, so I can reach more of you and educate on the entire world on this incredible, mind-boggling UFO phenomenon, including the purpose of both the nefarious reptilians and progressive gardeners of this world, the draconics, who feed human beings through the forces of the sun. I wish I could have that stage, and I'm sure I would do something progressive for the future, but I'm much too far ahead of time, too controversial for conservatives. Trust science or religion. before anything else is ahead. NASA headed for gold asteroid that could make everyone a billionaire. Again, that's the reptilius deception. Believe me. No man, and you heard my words, no man will ever, ever set foot on Mars. Man has been able to go 250,000 miles to the moon, our nearest satellite, which is not a UFO base and not hollow, because the moon needs that mass in order to evolve around the Earth and benefit from the gravitational forces, if you want to be technical. It is impossible because you have no business there. But there is life already on Mars, but your 5 human limited rational sense will not allow you to see the warriors in action of Mars. That's why it's called in Greek mythology the Lord of War. That's why blood is associated with the color red of Mars. And that's why Germany is under the control of Mars. And that's why Hitler was born in an Aries. Okay? So it's important to understand that the conception of the soul of the cosmos, of those planets of magnetic power, okay, that translates into a current that transfers himself through omnipresence almost immediately right into your brain. In other words, there is no difference between your mind, the mind of Einstein, a killer mind, or anybody else for that matter. What's different is the program. It's the UCI, the unique celestial identity. So your mind is interacting through a subtle cosmic divine design with the universal mind. Okay? There's nothing that starts or finishes in your mind. It's just a computer. Computer like your computer. You have to input information to that computer in order for that computer to work. So you are God, computer is you, if you understand what I'm saying. Okay? So remember, you have the universal mind, the universal consciousness, and you have each one of these planets who generate a specific current that will make you a Martian, aggressive, that will make you a killer, Plutonic, that will make you a religious fanatic, a Neptunian, an artist, a sensitive and progressive psychic if Neptune is well aspected by other planets. It's a language. It's God's cosmic language. And you have yet to learn that. So being 50 or 60 years ahead of time, my work will definitely serve more of a future generation that will be born with a little bit more spiritual values than this current baby generation who had no clue what the hell's going on and all afraid of going to hell, not realizing they are already on hell in their own ignorance and on their own field, feeding endlessly the reptilius. All right, my good friend, I hope you enjoyed this little video. If in any way, shape, or form you feel that I have something, and I do, well, share it. Until then, make it a beautiful day. Bye-bye.